Well, gather round, children. We promise we won't eat you. It's Filmshake, the 90s movies podcast. I'm Jordan.
And this is Nick. Can we just eat one children, Jordan?
Just one children. This is episode 103. We're covering all 90s movies, of course, but this year we're capping off a full year of covering all movies from the year 1990. Our episode today will cover two horror films from 1990. One of those being Tales from the Darkside, the movie. And I've decided that our other film that we're covering is going to be what we call the punishment movie or the Fallen Warrior review. It's not so much a punishment, but I had to squeeze in two horror anthology films to cap this off. So that's what we're going to do in the normal format of the show here.
Are we talking Two Evil Eyes second, since it has two in the title? Or are we going to kick it off with Two Evil Eyes?
Let's kick it off with Two Evil Eyes.
Wake me.
He's still alive.
From the creators of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, Two Evil Eyes.
We are felons, Jessica. We have committed grand larceny here and fraud and God knows what else.
Beyond the limits of morality.
In a few weeks we'll have it all.
And beyond the boundaries of life.
I am dead.
You killed her.
And I didn't kill her! Just take one look at him, then tell me you think he's still alive.
The terror of George Romero.
Wake up!
The suspense of Dario Argento. A new dimension of evil that goes beyond all evil. Two Evil Eyes. I'm going to wake you.
It's too late!
Two Evil Eyes. That's right. That's our other film, what we'll slot here at the beginning in the punishment film section.
Kind of a weird punishment, Jordan, in that it doesn't feel like a punishment, nor is it great.
It kind of feels like just like two TV movies thrown together in a way.
Yeah, just slightly above television production for sure, though. It definitely has really, really, really high 1990 soap opera production values.
Right. And I would say that's probably because this was first kind of pitched as a TV series adapting Edgar Allan Poe stories. You had Dario Argento directing and adapting screenplay, known for a lot of the giallo slashers from Italy. So probably the most famous being Suspiria, which I know both of us are not big fans of. I couldn't actually finish that movie, honestly. I know you're not a fan.
And I did finish it, and I thought, that was it?
That was it? That's not a great movie. But yeah, I don't know. Have you seen any of his other movies? Is there anything of his you've seen that you do like?
No, that was it. I was so nonplussed by Suspiria that I just didn't watch anymore. I played Clock Tower on the Super Nintendo, which was heavily inspired by the works of Argento.
Okay.
I remember when his daughter was in a movie with Vin Diesel, and then she dated the sad cooking man that died, and then there
Argento.
and then there was all kinds of controversy around her, and she's like out of the limelight now. But
okay.
Yeah, that's all the Argento that I know about, and it sounds like the cheese brand, Jordan.
It sounds like the cheese brand.
Sargento.
I've heard, lots of praise of like his other giallo work and stuff. I've never really dived into it, but I'd be willing to give it a shot. But yeah, Suspiria is the only thing I've even half seen by him. And now this, so he's doing one segment of these two stories from Edgar Allan Poe. He does the second part, The Black Cat, and the first part is by George Romero, and it's another Edgar Allan Poe story.
Hey, Jordan, you know who I like a lot, who I've seen the majority of the films of?
Romero?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a big Romero fan, especially, I'm not going to fault him for the stuff that he made in the years right before he died. Those last Dead movies are tough to watch, especially
Yeah.
if you're a big Romero fan. They're a rough watch. They're not great, but man, he made some good movies before that.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of his work, but I've seen, the original Night of the Living Dead, which I'm a fan of, and then I really dig Dawn of the Dead, just classic, set in the mall, I was about to say Chopping Mall, like that's a totally different movie, but no, yeah, Dawn of the Dead's great, just classic apocalyptic zombie movie, but set in like a shopping mall, which is an awesome setting.
So good, man. The original Night of the Living Dead was like really what got me into horror movies. My cousin's ex-boyfriend, Daniel, who became one of my best friends for a short time, I miss that guy, but he had the DVD of this movie because no one owned the rights to it for a little while. I don't know if it's still that way or not, but it was just in public domain and people were throwing out copies of it like left and right. Yeah. It was crazy. It was just everywhere. And we were in Monroe visiting my cousin and stayed a few nights there. And we just happened to go to an FYE and they had Night of the Living Dead for like $5. And he had brought his PS2, which doubled as a DVD player. So we watched Night of the Living Dead. And I was like, man, I really like horror movies. I need to watch a lot more of these. And that was pretty much it. I love that genre because of that movie.
Nice. I think I was spending the night at a middle school friend's house and we were like playing with the Hot Wheel racing tracks, where you could set up the tracks and like race the cars and stuff. And like that movie was on in the background. We were like slightly watching at the same time. It was like a really strange combination of things, but I have a very vivid memory of that.
That's awesome. I was 21 at the time when I realized that I liked horror movies, so it was a little later in life for me.
Nice.
All that to say, they both directed a film here, a filmmaker that I liked a lot, and one I haven't really seen much of, but what I have seen, even though a lot of people love this guy's work, Argento, wasn't really for me, wasn't really for you. How do you think these two movies within this film stacked up against each other? Yeah,
so the first one by Romero, I would say is the more like straight to TV vibe of the two, where the production is, there's nothing really like flashy. And I guess that's just kind of Romero in and of himself, despite like the TV production side of things. But we have Adrienne Barbeau, who's like a notable scream queen, classic horror movie, Last Girl, been in plenty of like Carpenter stuff, like The Fog is the first thing that comes to mind. Plenty of other movies, like in the 80s. But yeah, here she's basically, for lack of better words, a gold digger, where she's married an old man for his money, and she just comes out right and says it to like his financial advisor, and she's trying to get all this money like out of his stocks. And she's got this doctor boyfriend who's hypnotizing the old man on his deathbed, and they're basically like hypnotizing him so that he can talk to the financial advisor over the phone and like convince him that this is what he wants to do, is like give all his money out of his stocks in cash to this lady, to his wife. But yeah, it's just like one of those kind of double crossing, sleazy protagonists who's trying to get as much money as she can out of her husband. And then it turns basically into a zombie flick where like he's hypnotized, but he dies hypnotized. Therefore, his soul was like trapped between the two worlds or something. They don't really explain it, but they basically like stick him in a freezer because they've got to hide the fact that he's dead so they can get his money. And then they start hearing his voice coming from the basement from the freezer. So I'll stop there. But yeah, what did you think about this one?
Right. So both of these films are based on stories by Edgar Allan Poe. And Poe I really love far more than either of these filmmakers, even Romero. I've been reading Edgar Allan Poe stories since I was a little kid, and I loved all the references here. And this is based on one of his stories. I think it's the same name as the short film The Facts and the Case of Mr. Valdemar, which is a little different. You don't have like the evil demon spirits coming back from the beyond through the dead body in the Poe story. You just have the guy like turning in this putrescent glop at the end. So you get some gross stuff, but not like this. I agree with you on the production values. It definitely feels like a soap opera. Even the music, it's his keyboard-esque, like dun dun dun, but like with a keyboard the whole time, and just the droning keyboard sound that you would hear in a soap opera. The lighting is soap opera-esque, and you really just have this like mansion set where you're in a few rooms for most of this half of the movie, for most of this film. You know, I think these two pieces are both equal in quality. These both have moments where they're kind of dull, and then there are moments where they're kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they kind of balance each other out to where it's just okay. Because there are long stretches of this where Adrienne Barbeau, which I was going to cough and go, great rack. And I didn't, but I just did it now. So,
but you just did. Yeah.
But I just did it. Yeah, she's in this. She doesn't really have a lot to do other than be quietly dastardly. And then her hypnotist doctor boyfriend that she's only using, clearly she's using everyone. She just wants to gold dig. But she gets messed up. The end is pretty satisfying. It's a really slow build, and it's kind of dull, almost boring. And then you get to the end where the old man has been hypnotized, and he comes back like a zombie, perfect for Romero, obviously. He can't be killed. He's getting shot in the head by the boyfriend. He's getting shot again and again. You have like this putrescent, nasty, old aged blood that's flying out of him.
Yeah.
Romero gets Savini to do the effects for this, the makeup effects, because they look pretty gnarly. It looks like Savini.
I know Savini was in The Black Cat and probably did effects for that, but I'm not sure about this one.
He did, yes.
Okay.
He provided those special makeup and gore effects. Yeah, it looked like Savini's work. So that stuff is gnarly. Like, if you're really patient, the end gore, like near the end of this, is pretty sweet. And it's a pretty satisfying ending. Like, everyone who's evil dies in a pretty satisfying way. And it is kind of haunting that he's like, the others want to come back through me, like his dead body. Like, just the implication of it. It reminds me of Poe, even though that part isn't really from the story, and that, like, you're not really seeing anything, but just the thought of, like, these evil things that are trying to come back through this guy's body is like a conduit. It is pretty freaky. So I did enjoy the last 20 minutes of the first half of this, and this is a 2-hour film where this is slightly shorter than the second movie. It's about 50 minutes long, and I did enjoy the last 20 of these 50 minutes a good bit.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. It's a definitely dull, kind of slow build at first, but I really do like that last part. And one particular thing I like a lot is where the boyfriend, Dr. Hypnotist, he starts to get really intrigued by the beyond and the afterlife of the situation of this voice coming out of this obviously dead, frozen man. And so he's like recording it and trying to like document it, I guess. And he's just interested in it. And you see him at the beginning as this very dastardly, conniving, vindictive person who just like is out for the money, and he doesn't really care so much. And Adrienne Barbeau is more conflicted about like what they're doing to kind of swindle this husband out of his money and do all these dastardly things like hypnotize him, and then they're like freezing him and shit, and she's, you know, upset about all that. But I like how their characters kind of turn and flip, where the boyfriend, Dr. Hypnotist, becomes a little bit more sympathetic, and he's like talking to the dead zombie guy, and like he's listening, and he's like, wait, you know, like he's almost at the point, I think, where the guy is asking him to help him, and he's like, how do I help you? And he's telling him to like to wake him up. But before he can do anything, Adrienne Barbeau just like busts in with a gun and shoots him in the head. And then it's like, oh, you lost your chance to wake him up because the others are coming. And if like he had woken him up in time, he could have prevented some terrible shit happening, but she screwed it all up. So yeah, I like the little flip there with their characters. That was fun.
Yeah, the doctor definitely has a little bros before hose moment, but then the hoe comes in and ends that violently.
Yeah. And I do like how he ends up. I thought that was clever and well done, where we see earlier in the film to go to sleep, he's hypnotizing himself to sleep. And I guess he has insomnia or he's trouble sleeping. And then later, after the zombie husband kills Adrienne Barbeau, like shoots her and throws her off the balcony of this mansion house or down the stairs, off this railing or whatever. Basically, Dr. Dude wakes up zombie guy collapses. Dr. Dude grabs the money and runs back to his apartment. Later, we see him hypnotizing himself to go to sleep. But then here comes these evil spirits, these others that were mentioned. And they basically take his little metronome hypnotist statue that's like very phallic and pointed at the top. And they stab him in the chest. And he dies, but he's hypnotized. So he becomes a zombie. And then we have... old dude, what's the
it's
cop?
Detective Grogan, who is played by Tom Atkins, who is in every movie ever made.
Well, he's especially in every like 80s horror movie. I just watched Halloween 3 the other day, and he's great in that. But yeah, I was like, oh, great. It's Tom Atkins. He's the mustachioed cop here. And I like how he busts in and he finds the zombie Dr. Dude and he shoots him. And our last little shot of the film is the money that's been thrown everywhere all over the floor and the blood dripping on it.
Great final shot.
Yeah, that was a great final shot.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the end of this. It took a lot to get there, but I did enjoy the end. And then, Jordan, you pop into the next part, which is, again, titled after and mostly based on an Edgar Allan Poe story. Of course, Poe stories weren't set in the contemporary now, which both of these movies were. Both of these short... What do you call these? They're not novellas. What do you call it when it's an anthology, but it's just two movies? It's confusing.
Chapters? I don't know. Yeah, like parts. I would just say the second part.
It's kind of sad that this is kind of just like a consolation film to what could have been, because it was supposed to be 4 different movies, and you were supposed to have Carpenter directing one, and Clive Barker doing one, and King doing one, and Wes Craven being here too. And then it just kind of ended up being the two guys who hatched it, being like, I guess it'll just be the two of us doing it. And then they couldn't quite agree, I think, on what was going to happen for a minute. I don't think that they both had they were both on the same page with setting things in the contemporary world of 1990, which they eventually got to. So the whole movie kind of has the air of like, man, we had these grand ideas and this unfortunately is all that we could get out of it, which it's an okay movie, but it could have been something really special.
Yeah. And I don't know how they would have done that in movie form because it's just been hella long. But I guess as a mini series, that would have been cool to have like these modern adaptations of Poe and all these great directors involved. That could have been really cool. But yeah, it's a weird little joint where it's just like these two things put together. I guess we should also talk about the VHS cover or the cover of this movie. I remember just seeing this in the video store and like, since collecting VHS in the last couple of years, just like seeing this movie and being like, what is Two Evil Eyes? That looks like so weird and cool. And like, we got this, I don't know, weird kind of like abstract horror, almost like reminds me of American Horror Story or something, like this just weird, like surreal movie poster cover with like these two eyes and this hand. And I don't know, it just looks creepy. But yeah, I never realized this was what it is, like Edgar Allan Poe adaptations, and it's like a 2-parter. So yeah, it's just like a weird little thing that I feel like you don't get stuff like this anymore. So it's kind of special in that sense, where when's the last time you just saw something like this, 2 directors, and like you might see like an anthology where there's multiple, like there's like 3 or 4 stories or whatever, but with it just being 2, that's kind of interesting.
Right, and it fits the Two Evil Eyes title, though. It's like, are they the
cat's evil eyes? Are they just...
Or is it Romero and Argento, each with one eye closed, so that they make 2 evil eyes? Because this is like their perspective.
Well, and it's like the lens of the camera, like 2 lenses, Romero's lens and Argento's lens. So, yeah, it could be any of them.
There you go. The lens. Yeah. There you go. I like that. Very nice. What'd you think about the Black Cat?
I was really excited to watch the Black Cat because it connects to our main film here. Tales from the Darkside also has a Black Cat segment that we'll get into, which is, one of my favorite parts of it. I was interested to see what this would be like. It's got Harvey Keitel, so there's, big props for that. Like Keitel in most things. He is this photographer.
He's the worst, Jordan.
He's the worst.
Sucks.
Like as an actor, or?
No, I love Harvey Keitel as an actor, but this character sucks.
This character does suck. Like, you learn to hate this guy over time. But yeah, he's this photographer. He's basically one of those guys that works with the cops, and he goes and like photographs crime scenes and that kind of stuff. Later, you realize he's kind of doing it for his own artistic ambitions, and he puts out like a book of all these gruesome murders and things that he's photographed.
He's an artiste, Jordan. He's not.
He's an artiste because he wears a little beret, and he's drinking heavily throughout. So yeah, he's capital A artist. Yeah, basically you have this Black Cat that shows up in his apartment one day. He's developing some film, and his girlfriend had found this cat out in the street and brought it in, and I guess he just like the cat immediately just like doesn't like him, and it's like staring him down or hissing at him or scratching him, and the girlfriend's real obsessed with the cat, and eventually Keitel just kills the cat, right? He strangles the cat
and takes pictures while
while he's like torturing and strangling the cat, and then later puts that in his book of like all his murders and shit. So yeah, he's pretty messed up.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's really annoying. And the movie starts off with a little nod toward the Pit and the Pendulum, where the crime scene is this naked woman has been cut in half by this axe that's been hung from the ceiling and has swung back and forth until it's chopped her in half.
That was pretty gnarly. Like, that's a pretty like striking opening for sure.
Straight from the Pit and the Pendulum, Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, and there's little nods like that throughout that are like references to other Poe stories, and his character is even named Rod Usher, which I thought was cool.
Oh man, there's so many nods in this. And Jordan, I remember actually first becoming acquainted with this method of killing on September 18th, 1989, Jordan. An insurance salesman came to my parents' house, actually a life insurance salesman, and talked to my parents in the kitchen while I was watching MacGyver, Legend of the Holy Rose Part 1, Jordan. And that's, the episode ends on a cliffhanger of MacGyver being strapped to a Pit and the Pendulum type device, Jordan. It's pretty awesome.
How do you remember the fucking date, time, insurance, man? Like, how is any of that, like, relevant? You're just like, these are all the facts of this experience.
It was awesome because I was like, man, this is, like, obviously a take on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which had come out early in the summer. But then later that night, I was like, wait, life insurance? My parents are going to die? So that had a really heavy existentialist moment that night. So that was a heavy night, September 18th, 1989.
Just imagining them under the Pit and Pendulum.
That's right. And then me getting the payout for their deaths.
You got to get that payout.
That's right. Nah, that was sad. I was like, man, they're going to die one day. That was lame.
Yeah, but speaking, comparing this to Romero and how I said his was pretty straightforward, nothing real flashy. Argento definitely has like a creative lens and different kind of staging, and the more artistic of the two for sure, where the shots are a lot more striking. The angles are, a bit more like weird and eye-catching and just kind of stand out beyond just like the kind of straight shooting that Romero does. So I did enjoy at least the cinematography here a little bit more than the first part.
Yeah, I'm just going to drag this down into the dirt. You've got a really hot redhead played by Madeline Potter, who is Keitel's girlfriend. Appreciated that. If you like redheads, great one there.
You and your Nicole Kidman fix.
Right. Also, you have a young Julie Benz Darla from Angel and Buffy. Angel was this enigmatic character that Buffy just couldn't resist. So you had to cast someone really special to totally own Angel, where it's like, man, this vampire woman totally owns him. Julie Benz, so hot.
Is she
in
the
that
blonde
show.
bartender?
No, she's the violin student that shows up and is like, where she's like, where's my teacher? She's gone. Hey, what's going on? That was her first role.
Because she looks like she's like 14 in this.
She's
or
not
something?
though. She's not though. She's not 14. She's older than that.
Okay.
And she's older than me.
All right. Acceptable, I suppose.
She was born in 1972, so she's 9 years older than me.
Gotcha. So how old was she in 90 then?
18.
Okay. All right.
And I was 9. So it's okay.
So it's okay. No, yeah, so you're right. Keitel sucks really bad in this. After he kills the cat, you just see him like going off the deep end, like drinking more and more. He's real irritable. He like slaps his girlfriend at one point. She's like hiding in her bedroom and he's like coming after her slowly. And, you know, he just becomes more and more deranged, and you see, you know, more and more of like his wicked nature. And then somehow the cat just like keeps coming back, which is, I guess, because that's a Poe story and so classic, that almost feels like a trope at this point, where like I feel like I've seen that in other shows or films. And I mean, I guess it's similar to the Raven and stuff like that, which like the Raven keeps coming back and whatnot. So, but yeah, the cat just like mysteriously reappears, even though he's killed it like multiple times. And just like he goes to this bar and then the cat shows up there. And then like, what does he get the cat from the bar and brings it home, and he like starts to strangle the cat again.
Yeah, and then the hot redhead comes in and she's like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, shut up, bitch, I'll kill you. And then he does. And then he's psycho, man. He's just the worst in this. And he's an alcoholic too. He's heavily drinking this whole time. I really hated his character.
Yeah, he just straight up like he's trying to like chop the cat with a cleaver or something, and cat gets away,
a cleaver all of a sudden.
And then he's like cleaving her, like it's pretty sudden that like she's dead. And then he's hiding her in the wall. He like hides her in the closet and then builds a wall in front of it. Is that like a wall of VHS tapes, or was that books? I couldn't tell.
That's a good question. I don't know. That made me realize, wait a minute, Poe did that a couple of times, because he had the Cask of Amontillado, where, sorry for the pronunciation, I'm from South Louisiana, and I grew up in Canefield, and, you know, he walled the guy in, Fortunato.
Yeah. He had the Telltale Heart.
Yeah, where someone gets buried beneath the floorboards, but then here, you know what, in the Black Cat, this is pretty similar to that. You don't have the gnarly kittens who are eating the dead bodies at the end, but you do have the cat getting walled in with the woman.
That was definitely gnarly. That was like, okay, any dullness of this section is forgiven, because basically at the end, where Keitel is like trying to fake as if his girlfriend has gone away, and then the cops kind of catch on, they're like busting up his wall and find this rotten corpse that's being eaten by these baby kittens, because the cat was pregnant at some point, even though he killed it multiple times. It's still alive inside the wall and having babies, and it's eating this body. It's just real, like the effects there are super great, like Tom Savini type early 90s animatronics and stuff. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And the sound effects that the kittens are making, they're like, "Ow!" They're like little demon kittens. Like they've tasted flesh and they want more. Oh man. And my movie connection, so easy, Jordan. You made it so easy. The Detective Legrand is played by John Amos, who of course was the traitorous special unit commander in Die Hard 2 that we just covered in the last episode.
That's what I had as well, sir.
Very nice. And Jordan, I also dug, even though I did not love this, I just thought it was okay. There are so many Poe nods, and I love that even the landlords are Mr. Pym and Mrs. Pym, which is from One of my all-time favorite, I would put it in my top 5 favorite novels. I think it's the most underrated book ever written. It's the only novel Poe ever wrote, the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, which I think is a phenomenal book. I think it's a transcendent work of literature. Almost no one's read it. No one ever talks about it, but it's great. I love that it gets a little shout out here with the landlords' names.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm not even familiar with that book. So
it's so good.
That's a great shout out. I do want to shout out the trippy dream sequence here. So that was very, as far as I understand the work of Argento, that kind of called back to everything I had heard and seen previously. And so we have like this trippy moment that feels very much of the director's trademark type thing, where the main character he kind of slips into this dream, and it's this medieval setting, and I don't know, it's even hard to explain. You're like in this kind of castle-like courtyard, and his girlfriend's in like this period dress, and she's got the cat, and then at some point he's like accused for killing the cat, even though the cat is right there in front of them alive. Basically, he gets strung up into the air on some poles and some ropes, and then he's like impaled through the ass up out of his mouth by a giant spear.
Which is way cooler than the actual ending of this short, which I actually found kind of a letdown, Jordan, where he just like kills the policeman and is then trying to escape, and for some reason drags John Amos's body to the window and accidentally hangs himself from his dead body out the window. I don't know, I thought that was kind of lame. Like, as much as I dug the ending of Romero's half of this movie, I thought Argento's was a little more involving and just a little less dull, but the ending I found to be less satisfying. The very end.
I do like how they set it up where there's this white spot on the cat, and I don't know if it was in the dream or at some point someone's like, look into the white spot on the cat and it will tell you your destiny. And then he keeps like trying to look into the white spot, but like I guess in the dream it gets blurry. But in real life, he then later like gets a hold of the cat and looks at the white spot on its chest, and it kind of looks like a noose when he moves around the hair. And so it signals like his death later on, which I thought was cool. But yeah, the logistics of like he's handcuffed to John Amos. He kills both cops, but then he drags one up the stairs and tries to like lower him and the cop out of the window by a rope, slips and gets hung. Like, that just felt really clumsy and weird. Like, why did that character make that really dumb choice that just felt forced to lead him to being hung?
Yeah, especially after the way that he died in his dream was so cool.
Yeah.
And you're leaving the real climax, which really was surprising and shocking and cool, which was the kittens eating the dead bodies behind the wall. That's such a shocking moment. Like, you really kind of want to end there. You don't want to go past that to like this dull final 5 minutes of him fumbling around and accidentally hanging himself.
I think they could have pulled it off if just like him being accidentally hung worked out in like a more sensible way that was like more exciting and cool. Whereas like this just feels like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just like, I don't know, like get a handsaw and cut off the dude's hand, or like go down the stairs and get the key that fell downstairs to get unhandcuffed and then like run away and be on the lam? I don't know. Like, why are you lowering yourself out the window? Like, the key fell off the stairs and is like downstairs. So what are you doing?
Yeah, it was lame. It also kind of bums me out that for Romero's half, he originally wanted to do Mask of the Red Death, which is one of my favorite Poe stories. When I was in like first grade, the librarian read it to us. It was an illustrated version with terrifying illustrations, and it scared the crap out of me, Jordan. One of the only things to ever scare me. I thought death was going to be waiting there's a long hallway to my room at my parents' house, and I thought he was going to be waiting at the end.
Yeah, I remember that hallway.
It's pretty gnarly. Until finally
I
just ran full speed one night and screamed with my fist out and punched my door open, and that was how I conquered the fear. And I found a copy of that illustrated book. I love
Nice.
Mask of the Red Death. I wish that would have made it in here. I would have loved to have seen Romero's take on that, because I think he could have crushed it. But that's another what could have been in this movie, which I think I give a 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I'm going to settle on.
I'd probably go with like 2.5 out of 5. So just kind of right there with you. It's got some cool moments, but overall, I'd say it's just okay.
Yeah, it's just okay. Well, anything else to say about it before we move on to a movie that has 3 films inside of it instead of just 2, Jordan?
Oh yeah, there you go. We're moving on up. That's why we had to do this one first, because we're going from 2 to 3 with the Tales from the Darkside, the movie.
I'm so glad that you said the movie, because if you didn't, I was going to go, the movie.
Have you seen the TV show?
No,
Tales
I
from
did
the
not.
Darkside?
That came out whenever I was just a little too young to watch it. So I never saw it, no. And I'd never seen this movie. This was totally new to me. Both of these movies were totally new. Like I had told you in the last episode, I did have Two Evil Eyes on my horror movie list. Like I'll get to this one day, which I did because of you, so thanks. Knocked it out. But Tales from the Darkside wasn't really even on my radar. I remember seeing the poster for it at the video store back in the day. I think Movie Barn had a poster of this.
Which again, gnarly movie poster. You got like this creepy monster face coming out of the dark, and I don't know, I grabbed this on VHS a while back, and it just had sitting on my shelf of all the 1990 films. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do a Halloween VHS screening. And we went ahead and did like a secret screening where no one knew what we were showing, but I decided to do all anthology films. And it just so happened I picked this one because I had it and I'd never seen it and it sounded cool. So we watched it for that, and it was a blast. It was a really good time.
Sweet. I'm glad you enjoyed it and you inflicted it on me.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it, Jordan. Did you ever see Tales from the Darkside? Was that, I'm assuming that the party was the first time you watched this film?
Yeah, first time I'd watched it was Halloween this year, and never seen the TV show. But I knew just from the internet that, hey, this had 2 of my favorite actors in it. We've got Steve Buscemi and we've got Christian Slater, the Slatester. It's been a while since we've had him in a movie on the show, so that was a nice touch.
Kind of sad that it's been so long since we've talked about the Slatester.
Yeah, for real. I guess because we've been doing all 90 movies this year, and we'd already covered Pump Up the Volume, so that was out. That was an early episode. But lots of love for the Slatester. But yeah, it's fun to have him here as this kind of like this preppy college kid who has a little darkness to him that we see, calling back to some of his earlier work.
Not enough darkness, though.
Not enough. Yeah, so let's get into it. This first kind of chapter, first tale.
you got a frame story here, which is that Betty, who's played by Blondie, Deborah Harry, who has a heart of glass, but here she has a heart of I want to eat children. She's a modern day witch having a dinner party, and she's got Joey Lawrence's little brother, Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah, dude.
He's chained up in her kitchen in a cell, and he's like,
she's got a cell next to her kitchen. It's pretty wild.
Right. So, Jordan, there's something about this movie that makes absolutely no sense. So this chick's like, hey, so this book was my favorite book growing up. I read it all the time. It was my favorite. Here you go. And the little kid reads it, right? And he's like, oh, this is cool. Let me read you some stories from it. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll hear some stories from it. This is your book that you said you've been reading your whole life. You should know all these stories by heart. That makes no sense.
Oh, well, maybe it's been a while since she's read it. She doesn't have a photographic memory like you.
She's a damn witch, Jordan.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, he's like, it sounds like he's reading to her these stories and she's like learning or experiencing them anew.
Right. And he's stalling like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, he's just stalling like, I don't want to be eaten.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I like the frame here. It works. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed the frame a lot. It was a good time. It's a light, kind of goofy tone, even though it is a horror movie. So I wasn't so hung up on what I just said if the movie was taking itself very seriously, which it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like just the casting of Blondie here, where you're like, well, it's Blondie, and she's a witch, and she's gonna eat Joey Lawrence's little brother. Like, right away, it's like, all right. I see what
yeah, it's a fun tone for sure from the beginning, and it's probably why I enjoyed it so much as a screening on Halloween, and just watching it with a crowd was a good time.
Sweet. Well, like you were about to jump into, Lot 249 is our first short film here based on an Arthur Conan Doyle, he of Sherlock Holmes and The Lost World fame. He wrote the short story that this is based on, starring, like you said, the Slater, but another Filmshake favorite, Steve Buscemi, and another strange object of my lust, Julianne Moore, which is, she's like the weird kind of hot. Like, I've never understood it. Like, since she first appeared in The Fugitive, and I was like, man, she's kind of hot, but I can't figure it out. I don't know why.
I can't figure out this hot.
Yeah.
This is like the weird hot.
It is, and I know I'm not the only person who feels that way.
Yeah.
And she's evil here, and that just made her even hotter. It was really bizarre.
Her being evil made her hotter somehow?
Yeah. And then when she's a mummy at the end, she was kind of hot then, too. I was like, oh.
Sir, you might need some help.
Wrap me up.
Wrap me up, baby.
Yeah. Wrap me up in cerements. Let's get to the plot.
Yes. So, Steve Buscemi discovers this mummy, right? And he's got this sarcophagus. We kind of have this backstory where Christian Slater and his roommate, this other guy and this other girl, basically one of them, like the guy has won, what is it, like this scholarship or some sort of like prestigious award that Steve Buscemi was also going after.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, good job.
Am I totally fumbling?
No, let's go. Come on, you got it.
All right. So, but yeah, basically Steve Buscemi is pissed at this dude because of like him stealing this thing from him, this like academic award or position or whatever.
It's not important. He just pissed him off. He took something that he thought was owed to him.
Right. Like it's owed to him, and this guy just is a cheater, and he knows he's a cheater, and he cheated to get this thing, and Steve Buscemi really deserved it.
Yeah, he and Buscemi both suck. He sucks because he cheated. Buscemi sucks because he's a narcissistic, egocentric. You'll know that he's horrible by the things that he does. He does awful things in this. He's the bad guy, crazily enough, but also the protagonist of the story in a way.
Yeah, which classic, I don't know, just fits right up Steve Buscemi's wheelhouse. So he's really great in this. Basically conjuring this mummy to attack this guy. And we have just murder and mischief afoot because of Steve Buscemi and his pet mummy, basically. And then Slater's kind of like roped into it too, like helping him at first, looking to this mummy, and then kind of putting things together and realizing that, what is it? Buscemi's sister is dating the guy?
Okay,
is that right?
So look,
Slater's sister.
All right, let me handle this.
Okay, you handle it.
Okay, so Buscemi, you already went into that. He's all mad. Here's the deal. Julianne Moore is the Slater's sister. And she's dating this dude who cheated. Come to find out, Julianne Moore is evil. It was her idea for him to cheat, and she has set all these things into motion. And not only did she do that, she wants to go even further into framing Buscemi and getting him even more into trouble. Here's the crazy thing, Jordan. This is Julianne Moore's debut film, and she was 30, so you can't give me any crap for that, Jordan. In fact, you know what? Watch Shortcuts if you find her as weirdly attractive as I do. Shortcuts 3 years after this, 1993. Great film. You'll thank me later for that one.
How was she 30 when she started? That's wild.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy? But anyway, that's the whole deal. So Buscemi sets the mummy loose. It kills the douchey boyfriend guy. It kills Julianne Moore. You get some pretty good gore effects as they get killed. But here's the deal. The Slater's not a bad guy. He did nothing wrong. He can't help it that his sister's a sociopath. He's not really like great friends with her boyfriend. He's just kind of stuck being around him. So the Slater really did nothing wrong. The Slater figures out what happened. He's like, wait a second. Buscemi killed them with a mummy. So I got to get Buscemi. So he gets Buscemi. He gets him tied up in a chair. He has that great line where it looks like he's going to set a fire underneath the chair. And he's like, what are you going to do to me or something? And what does Slater tell him? He's like, oh, not much. I'm just going to cook your nuts.
I like how he holds up he's got like a little electric knife, like a kitchen knife. And he holds it up and like revs it. And he gives that kind of like sinister grin that he does, and he's like, we're just getting started or something like that. That was really fun.
Slater's having a blast. You could tell he's having fun with this, and I was all for it, right? And he has a great line, which could have been so cold, and I hope someone uses this to a different effect one day. Basically, it comes down to him Buscemi tells him, they're already dead. Like, what good am I to you dead? And Slater says, well, what good are you alive? And it would have been so cold if he would have just killed him then, because that would have been badass. But he doesn't kill him, Jordan. He lets him live. His mercy dupes him. Like, this guy's obviously evil and can control mummies. And he tricks Slater. He's like, Slater's like, well, give me the manual to control the mummy. Give me the manual and let's burn it so you can't control this mummy anymore. And Buscemi's like, oh, well, it's that thing over there. You can't read any of it because you can't read any of these ancient languages. I can. And I've obviously a sociopath through the actions that I've shown you, but just trust me, it's this one. So Slater burns it, and it's the wrong one. And the ending of this is that he lets Buscemi go. And of course, Buscemi resurrects the boyfriend and his sister, and the mummies of them come back and kill the Slater, and that's the ending. And it made me mad, Jordan. Damn it, the bad guy won. It pissed me off.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I found it satisfying just in that, like, you know, it was a smart move on Buscemi either way, like if he's bad or not. And then you kind of have that punchy ending where you kind of see it coming at that point. But he's like, what, in the taxi cab? Buscemi's in the taxi cab, like going off to a new place or whatever. And he's like laughing to himself. And the driver's like, what are you laughing at? And he's like, oh, just at some stupid schmuck who couldn't tell, like, ancient cuneigraph from like Egyptian porn or whatever he says. And then, we see Slater being attacked by the boyfriend and his sister mummy people. And I don't know. I just thought it was fun. It fit the tone of the opener. And it was just like a quick and dirty little gnarly, I don't know, kind of goofy mummy story. So I dug it.
Buscemi is really the only person who gets what he wants throughout this whole movie, besides the little kid when he escapes at the end. It's really just
spoiler.
The two of them. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Lot 249. I guess we have to rank the three of these whenever we're done and say what we thought was the best.
I guess that would work.
Well, the next one, Jordan, it's more cats. It's the cat from hell.
It's the cat from hell. Yes.
This is based on a Stephen King story.
Did you ever read that story?
No, I never did. Read a lot of Stephen King, not anything he's written in like the last 20 years, but a lot of stuff he wrote in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, but I never read that. Did you?
No, I never read the story.
Never read The Cat from Hell?
No.
And you call yourself a cinephile.
I do really love this segment. It's definitely, I think, the most wild. And I enjoy it a lot more than the Black Cat from Two Evil Eyes, but it's a fun setup here. I'm trying to remember the actor's name, the old man.
the old guy in The Cat from Hell, William Hickey.
William Hickey, yeah.
Uncle Lewis from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You'll know him when you see him.
Yeah, and you'll know him when you hear him too, because he's the voice of the mad scientist doctor from A Nightmare from Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, he's Dr. Finkelstein.
Yeah, Dr. Finkelstein. He's just got this great voice, and he's got like this classic, just old sleazy man look to him. He's great in this. He's in a wheelchair. He brings in this hitman, and he's basically telling this hitman, I'm going to hire you to kill this cat. And this is an evil cat. This cat has killed multiple people and has done such horrible damage, but, you know, I'll pay you all this money if you just stay here this weekend. I'm going to leave and you kill this cat. I love the setup, and then just like this kind of hard-boiled hitman guy, like, yeah, no problem. I'm going to take out this cat. And then just him having like all the trouble in the world and just getting the shit kicked out of him by this cat.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like this one as much as you did. I found it kind of dull too, because it's pretty much all set in this dreary mansion that's really darkly lit. And you're just kind of getting the perspective of the cat. I do like the flashback to like all the old people dying. That was pretty amusing. And also, Jordan, callback to Mr. Nanny. You got David Johansen from the New York Dolls, the front man that decided to become an actor, and he is terrifying. And Mr. Nanny is the bad guy in that children's film. He believably takes down Hulk Hogan with his metal head just running at him over and over and over again and headbutting him. He plays the hitman here.
Yeah.
What'd you think about him? Did you dig him in this? Sounds like it.
No, yeah, I didn't realize that was him, but yeah, I thought he was really fun in this. I really dug him. I loved his frustration with the cat over time, and like, you know, just him trying to like set up different traps or shoot the cat with, you know, like with this, what he had, like a sniper rifle or something with a scope
at some point. Pistol with a scope.
Pistol with a scope, yeah. So yeah, all that was great. But really what capped it off for me was the cat going into him. Like, what does the cat do?
I did enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. Can you describe that for me?
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a real and an animatronic cat. So you get like a lot of footage of just a black cat running around a house and being kind of cute if you like black cats. I've had one before, so I kind of like them. And I haven't exactly been the luckiest person on Earth, Jordan. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
So I kind of have an affection for things that are supposed to be unlucky. Like I like the number 13. I like black cats. I don't quite like walking under a ladder because I don't want to tempt fate any more than I apparently already have. But you know, I like black cats. So to me, it's a cute cat, even though, you know, it's not really evil. It's just getting revenge because the old man from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, he's a pharmaceutical executive that did pharmaceutical testing on cats and has killed thousands of cats. So this cat is getting revenge for all the cats who were murdered by this evil Drogon guy.
Drogon is such a great name, too.
Yeah. And I also like that one of the old guys is played by Mark Margolis. He plays one of the old men who got killed by the cat while he was driving. He played Hector Salamanca in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Very, very memorable actor. And he looks the same somehow in this, which is like 20 years before those shows. But he gets killed by the cat in the car. And some of the scenes with the cat attacking people are so ridiculous. I mean, it looks so silly. But it's fun. Those were my favorite parts. I thought just walking around the mansion and chasing the cat was kind of dull. But anytime they were like, you know what, we're just gonna go for it. Like, let's just have this cat just straight up, like, attack a guy who's driving. And, like, jump on the guy and hit him and make him swerve into traffic and die. Or, like, let's have this cat bear hug this man's face and suffocate him. Or let's have this cat climb up this guy and crawl down his throat and choke him to death. And then go just hang out in his tummy for a little while. Just for fun.
Yeah, like the absurdity and like goofiness of all that, I think is why I enjoyed this so much. But especially like crawling down the dude's throat and choking him, and then at the end he like comes back out and like vomits the cat, like comes out of the guy's mouth and then like attacks the Drogon guy and like makes him have a heart attack. It's just like so stupid and fun.
Yeah, it's stupid. And the ending is fun. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like moments of it for sure. It was, parts of it were dull and parts of it I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was fun at times. It was boring at times. It was all right.
I got to give it to the cat and the going into the body. It's so ridiculous. It was like just so unexpected. Like, wait, that's how this guy dies?
Right, because at first it's like, is it just going to choke him to death? But no, it just keeps going in there until it's gone. And then it just goes and wiggles in his tummy and stays there. And it's like, what is it doing? And it was like, well, obviously he's tired from wiggling down this guy's throat. And then, you know, like that guy was in the New York Dolls. Who knows what he smoked and how many drugs he took? It's probably like a cavernous, dangerous hole going down his throat. He was probably exhausted from traversing that. There's probably like spit needles and all kinds of things in there he had to dodge. So by the time he got into the stomach, he was exhausted. He was like, man, I'm tired.
Does he pop out of the mouth again, or is it the stomach?
Yeah, I think he just crawls back up out of the mouth.
Crawls back up out of the mouth. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Never seen anything like that.
No, that was pretty special. That was pretty good. And then you get to the last one, Jordan. Lover's Vow. Because Blondie wants something a little more romantic. And little Matthew Lawrence says, I'll give you some romance, Blondie. So you got Lover's Vow here, which is based on something from his Japanese film by director Masaki Kobayashi. Quaidan. There you go. It was an anthology film from Japan.
Yeah, it does have that kind of Japanese horror tale vibe to it, though. Like the romantic horror. It's all very much set in like a grimy New York City type vibe, like blown out just alleys and dark, dirty streets. But yeah, the romantic element of it somehow has like a Japanese slant to it.
For sure. And this has another connection to our previous episode because we covered Blood Fist 2 and I just could not stop talking about the pan flute soundtrack there. And I just got into James Horner's score for Commando and how much I like the steel pan in that. And who's the female character in Commando played by none other than Ray Dawn Chong, daughter of Tommy Chong, who is also the female lead in Lover's Vow in this film, Tales from the Darkside.
There you go. Movie connection.
Jordan, this was kind of dull too at times and also kind of predictable, but I didn't hate it. It was okay. I kind of feel that way about like a lot of this movie. I didn't hate it. It was okay. I liked it more than I disliked it, but I didn't love it.
Right.
This definitely, it has that same kind of, this whole thing kind of, it feels like it bumps up the soap opera budget from To Evil Eyes.
Yeah.
It's got that keyboard soundtrack again, but it's like everything's bumped up a level. Bigger budget, slightly more complex filmmaking, the little frame film with the little Lawrence kid. Lover's Vow, not my favorite out of these three, but not bad. Not bad. You got James Remar, Jordan? James Remar from Warriors.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so the plot, you basically have this guy in a bar.
Played by James Remar from the Warriors.
Played by James Remar from the Warriors. And then just like, it's, I don't know, I kind of dig the vibe and like the dark, mysterious vibe of it where he's like, he's leaving this bar. And again, it's just like these dark, dirty, blown out city streets. And then this monster just comes out of nowhere and like kills the barkeep and like chops off his head. And it's like so unexpected. And the monster's really gnarly looking, like cool effects, just this kind of like bat looking creature, giant thing. And basically tells him like, he corners James Remar and tells him like, I'll spare your life.
I think she,
the monster is a she, obviously. I'll spare your life if you vow to like never tell anybody what you saw. And he makes the vow and says like he'll never tell anybody. And then as he's trying to escape this like hellscape city streets and like get back to, you know, his apartment or whatever, he comes across Ray Dawn Chong, who's like the only other person on this street, and like immediately runs up to her and just like puts his hand over her mouth and like from her perspective, I can imagine just seems like he's there to accost her and rape her. You know, like it's just very much not a safe situation for this woman. But strangely enough, she agrees to go back to his apartment because he's like, it's not safe here. We need to go to my apartment. She just goes to the stranger's apartment and then they hit it off and make love, of course.
Yeah, they hit it off all right. And then she kind of gives the game away there where she's like, I've been waiting a really, really, really long time for this. Almost like I was the gargoyle on the roof looking down at you, and I gained corporeal form as a gargoyle and murdered this dude in front of you and told you, don't ever tell anybody what you saw and everything will be okay. Then became a woman. Then had sex
I don't
with
know
you.
if it's that obvious from that point, but it's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
That lady might be that monster.
I liked how you said it there. That was nice. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. I see what's going on here.
And then the little flash forwards, because he was an artist and his agent was basically telling him, like, I'm sorry, you're a failure in the opening scene at the bar. And now all of a sudden he's got all the success thanks to Gargoyle Lady that he just thinks is a regular chick other than her dad is Tommy Chong. And he has 2 children with her and life is going grand and everything's wonderful. And he's like, look, I gotta tell you what happened to me that night. Dummy, what an idiot. What was he thinking, Jordan?
She's basically like, you've given me everything. Like, you know, you couldn't give me any more like happiness. And he's like, well, I have this one thing that I haven't given you. It's the secret. You know, I guess it's just like eating him up inside. And he's got to tell her, you know, like this is the last piece of him to share with her. Everything's going great. But yeah, what a dumbass. Cause it's just like, and I love the reveal here where he tells her and she's like, but you promised. And she's so upset. All of a sudden you're just like, if you didn't get it before, you're like, oh shit, she's the monster. And then I love how the transformation, she turns into the monster, is really gnarly. And then the kids are also monsters because, you know, he had sex with this gargoyle lady. And obviously, you know, they're revealed to be these like creepy gargoyle children.
My first thought, like, he's heartbroken and like, no, but I wouldn't be. My first thought would be like, wait, I put my dick in that many times.
Well, yeah, and he's like, no, just change back. Like, we don't have to do this. Like, just go back to your human form.
I would have run to the shower and started showering off my crotch just immediately. Like, showering the decade
I'm pretty sure
off.
I would, like, get an axe and try and chop this fucking monster in half. But yeah, and it has a nice kind of, like, tragic romance to it. I do dig that vibe.
It does.
But, yeah, like you said, it's a bit predictable, but it keeps you with it, and it's fun, like, at the end to see, like, this just ridiculousness that you saw coming, and then what does she do? Like, basically kills him and flies off?
She tears him up, but what I have to admit, I kind of thought might happen, but didn't entirely see coming, is that the children turn into gargoyle form and come over and
start, like, eating him, too?
Together. Yeah, they're like, let's eat daddy. Stupid human daddy. Which, how did he even make babies with her? Who knows? It's kind of stupid. Don't think about that too long.
Don't think about that too much.
But then his penis is forever tainted on his dead corpse as they fly through the window. And then they just turn back into gargoyles. Yes. Little sad statues on the roof. I guess until someone else shows up that she can trick.
On one hand, I'm like, what was the catalyst for them to... or for her to come down, kill the bar guy, and then make this vow with this guy? But I also kind of like that it's just so out of left field and random, and just like, just the mood and the vibe of that feel really haunting, where you're just like, I'm at this bar, it's a regular night. Oh, I'm out on the street, and all of a sudden this crazy shit happens. I don't know. There's something to that I really dig.
Yeah, for sure. You know what this reminds me of, Jordan?
What's that?
There was this show back in early 2019. It was a podcast, and they covered classic Japanese cinema. Do you remember that show?
What was that called? Film something?
It was like Filmshake or something, and they covered this movie called
Shake
Life
Film?
of... Yeah, something like that. And they covered the life of Oharu.
Haru? Yeah.
And there was like this ghost woman that was enticing this man to join her in like her ghost world, I think.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
It wasn't Life of Oharu. What was that? It was a different movie.
Ugetsu?
That Filmshake. Ugetsu. That was it. It was Ugetsu. Yeah. That was it.
And see, that's why I think it reminds me of that Japanese horror vibe and those films that we covered. Like, even though it's very American and a lot of its trappings, it has that same kind of tragic horror romance that's really nice. Yeah, I liked that part of it a lot.
Yeah, that was cool. It was all right.
It was all right. Well, out of all these three tales, what was your favorite? Because it sounded like you were a little disappointed with all of them.
I was a little disappointed with all of them, Jordan. I didn't hate any of them, but they were all a little disappointing. I think I have to go with Lot 249 being my favorite, because I liked the majority of it and I was the most engaged by it. I found it had the least amount of dull patches. Now, it did benefit from coming first, obviously.
Yeah.
So I had less time to get bored, but I like that. I thought the pace was a little snappier than the other two. And even though I didn't really like what happened at the very end of it, like I did enjoy it a lot. I loved all the performances in it. I enjoyed that one the most. And then I'd probably say Lover's Vow second, because it did kind of remind me also of an X-Files episode where it would be one of those episodes where Mulder and Scully are just in the periphery, and what happens in this episode is like the central story. And Mulder and Scully would get there too late, and they would come upon the man's corpse after the gargoyle had already left at the end. So I did dig that element of it. I would put that second. And then I'm sorry to say The Cat from Hell was my least favorite. I did enjoy lots of parts of it, but it was definitely my least favorite of the three. How would you rank these?
Yeah, I dig a lot of the parts of all these. Obviously, The Cat from Hell probably be in my top just for the ridiculousness and the cat going into the guy's mouth and choking him. It's just so bizarre and bonkers. I love it. I don't know. And so probably after that, I would go with Lot 214. Is it 214? 249?
249.
249. Just because of the Buscemi and Slater factor, like that bumps it up a lot for me. And then Lover's Vow. But I really enjoyed all three of these. Like, I don't think any of them are just duds. You know, they all had something to offer and that were fun. Yeah, let's talk about the end frame too, with the little boy and the witch. What did you think about the ending there?
Yeah, shout out to DuckTales the movie. The little ducks had marbles to get themselves through difficult situations. And here, the little Lawrence kid, he narrates how he escapes, which he just throws some marbles down at Blondie's feet as she's approaching him to bring him to the oven, and she slips and falls on him, even though he tells her what he's doing, which is pretty funny. And
that is funny.
She slips and falls, and she lands on her like little needle rack that she was going to use to basically hold his body open to put all the spices in and then close him back up. She falls on that, and she's like, ah! And then he's able to get the key and unlock his little shackle and then push her into the oven like Hansel and Gretel. It was great. I enjoyed that a lot. And then he breaks the fourth wall when he eats some Chips Ahoy knockoff cookies. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Did you like the ending?
No, I loved it. Isn't there like a little tagline he says at the end?
Yeah, it says, "Don't you just love happy endings?"
Yeah, it's so dumb and fun. I dug it. Yeah, I like that. How he narrates the action, like what's happening. It reminded me a little bit of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, where they're like reading the comic book and like seeing what's happening or what's about to happen. And so it had kind of like a little touch of that, which was fun. I enjoyed all these. I feel like a lot of horror anthology films, you know, there's like one or two stories that are lacking, and then there's like one that's like really great. And maybe it's that like all these are pretty good, like nothing's like great outshining the other. It feels like a pretty even anthology to me, where like I enjoyed all of this, and there might have been like dull parts here and there, but they all had something to offer. So I think it's pretty solid film overall.
Nice. See, you like Demon Knight a lot more than I do too. I think this just fits your sensibility a little more than mine, because I did like this better than Two Evil Eyes, which I gave a 5 to, but I'm going to give a 6 to this. I did find parts of it, long stretches of it, dull, but I did like it more than I disliked it. So I've got to go to the positive side of the ledger there. I think your score, it better be higher.
Oh yeah, it'll be higher than that. I'd say I'd give it like a 3.5, maybe a 4 out of 5. So yeah, I enjoyed this a lot.
Which one? Pick one. Just give it the 4 you want to give it.
3.75. How about that?
All right, there we go. Our first decimals.
Yeah, there you go.
We're almost 7 years into this thing. Hit some decimals finally. Nice. All right, good deal, Jordan. Anything else to say on this thing?
Well, we covered our movie connection with John Amos and with Radon Chong from Commando. So that was a nice touch. That's all I got as well. So are you ready, sir, for the trivia battle?
Pop quiz, asshole.
I'm ready. I'm wondering, did you write trivia questions yet again?
Hell no.
Oh, man. I don't know why I set my hopes so high for you.
To be fair, I've been moving this past 2 weeks and I've had no time.
That is true. You have.
So yeah.
You have.
But I mean, I probably wouldn't have written questions anyway. So
even if you had a ton of spare time.
It's your pick next time. So you're going to punish me. I'm going to lose. It's going to be great. It'll work out like it always does.
Right. God, this is really weird and really surreal. We just did 2 years straight of covering nothing but movies from 1 year. We did 1999, and then we did Groundhog Decade to 1990. And I almost died multiple times this year. And you had the thought, what if we just did nothing but 1991 films? And while I think that's a great idea, I'm now scared every time I sneeze that I'm going to die, Jordan. Because I sneezed and I had a stroke. So now, and I'm not on blood thinners anymore. So literally, every time I sneeze, I'm like, am I still alive? Am I still here? Every time, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, that sucks so bad. I'm so sorry.
It does suck. It sucks balls, Jordan. It sucks dirty, stinky balls from the pits of the locker room in hell. Like all the demons just played football and took off their jock straps and threw them in a pile. It sucks that, Jordan. It sucks that pile of demon jock straps from the locker room in hell.
Oh.
It sucks. With demon pubes still inside. It's terrible.
Do demons have pubes?
They do in this locker room, unfortunately. They don't shave anything ever. They don't manscape. They just let it go.
Manscaped demons.
And now I've just got to choke on it, Jordan. I just got to choke on it.
Well, I mean, anyway, it was a freak accident. So the likelihood that you're going to sneeze again and have a stroke or die is pretty unlikely, right?
Yeah, but I'm told that, but the chances of that happening at all were so outrageous. Who's to say it won't happen again? I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then all the other stuff that happened to me happened this year. I don't know. So my thinking was, Jordan, I love that idea, but here's the thing. I could die at any minute. So I'm going to pick some 1991 movies this year, but I got to also pick some movies that, what if I die and we never cover them, that I really want to cover? So I'm going to pick some non-1991 movies too.
That sounds good to me. Maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty committed to doing the next year in our decade and just continue with 91. So I think I'll hold down the fort there, and then you'll have a bit more freedom where you can make sure you get to cover some great 90s movies before you die.
Rad.
So all that said, let's do some trivia battle. Ask me some questions and we'll see what we're going to cover for 2026.
All right, Jordan. Well, all my questions are about Romero.
Nice.
So I don't know. Let's just say if you get 4 out of 5 of these right, you don't have to eat demon pubes out of their jock straps in the demon locker room in hell.
But if I lose, I do?
You have to sniff one up your nose.
Oh man, the pressure is on now.
And then cough it back up your mouth so that I know that you really sniffed it up there.
That's gross as hell.
Literally.
Literally. All right, what's your first question?
Which Romero film got a well-received remake starring Timothy Olyphant in 2010? By the way, I know the answers to all of these, and I have most of these movies on physical media. Was this A, Night of the Living Dead, B, The Crazies, C, Dawn of the Dead, or D, Martin?
Was it Dawn of the Dead?
It was not. I'll get to that later. It was actually The Crazies, and I really like this remake a lot. Timothy Olyphant is really good in it. It's a lot of fun.
Gotcha.
Definitely worth watching.
When I heard Crazies, I was like, it's probably that. But then, Dawn of the Dead, I felt like it was around that time, the remake. So, I don't know.
Well, that
got it wrong right out of the gate.
That's all right.
I'm going to sniff demon pubes.
Yep, straight up the nose. Well, Jordan, that was from 2010. Dawn of the Dead did receive a remake in 2004, and though it was well received, I think it pales next to the original. I'm not a big fan of the 2004 remake. I don't really like it very much. Who directed it, Jordan? Do you know off the top of your head?
Zack Snyder.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You got it.
I got one.
You got one. All right, Jordan. What was the last film Romero directed? Was it Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, or Day of the Dead?
Was it Diary?
So it was actually Survival of the Dead.
Okay.
I saw Diary of the Dead, and it was so bad, I just could not bring myself to watch Survival. I saw that got, I think, even worse reviews, and I just thought, damn, I just can't. Like, my memories of Romero movies are so pristine, and I think so highly of him, I can't watch this. I can't. Yeah. So I've never watched Survival of the Dead. And he died shortly after it was released, so.
When was that released?
I think 2017, I want to say.
Okay.
I mean, was he even alive when he died on July 16th, 2017? That movie was released on, just kidding. That was released in 2009. So it was 8 years before he died.
Okay.
It was the last movie he directed, though. I just can't watch it.
That sounds rough. I wouldn't watch it either.
Yeah. I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. I'll probably watch it at some point.
All right. Well, what's your next question?
All right, you've only gotten one right. Let's see if you can get three. I have a lot of faith in you for this next one, Jordan. Night of the Living Mace Me, Dawn of the Mace Me, Day of the Mace Me, or Land of the Mace Me?
Dawn of the Mace Me?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Best one out of all? That's your favorite?
I think that's the best one. I love Night of the Living Dead, but I think Dawn just has the edge. That's a perfect film. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I actually like Day of the Dead a lot, but it's just not up with the first two. Land is kind of a crapshoot. It's not terrible, but I don't like it as much as the original trilogy.
Yeah, I haven't seen 3 or 4, just the first two.
That's all you need. Maybe I think you'd like some of the aesthetics of Day. Maybe watch that at some point, if you got time to kill. All right, last question. I have faith in you, Jordan. You can get 3 out of 5. You can do this. What is the real name of the 1974 documentary Romero made about O.J. Simpson? Is it A, O.J. Simpson, Juice on the Loose? B, O.J. Hacking Away? C, O.J. Simpson slays his opponents? Or D, O.J., I did it. I became the first Pro Bowl player to reach 2,000 yards in a single season. I did it!
I almost want to say the last one, but I think it's Juice on the Loose.
That is correct, Jordan. It's Juice on the Loose.
Nice.
I wish it was 3? The last one. You got 3.
I did it.
He was the first Pro Bowl player to reach 2,000 yards in a single season. He was an incredible football player, Jordan. Whatever else you want to say about him, we may or may not have, or may have definitely done, he was great at football.
Juice on the Loose.
Juice
by
on
Romero.
the Loose. Yep. Man.
That's wild.
He was really good in those Naked Gun films, too.
It's true.
You know, did you ever see the new Naked Gun movie that came out this year?
No, I didn't.
It needed an OJ character, and it seemed like they were setting up an OJ character, but there's not really one. It's kind of
They
a
should have
bummer.
just brought back OJ.
Well, they have the character that's supposed to be his son, and they have the one gag that's in the trailer where they're all like looking at the pictures of their dads, all the policemen, and they're like, I wish I could live up to your legend, Dad. And then like the OJ son looks at his dad's picture and then just breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera and shakes his head. And it's funny. It's really funny. But then like he's never in the movie again. And you know, OJ had great physical comedy in those Naked Gun movies. He's just like getting so beat up. It's so awesome. And there's not really anyone like that. I mean, the new one was okay. It had some funny parts, but it doesn't measure up to the old ones.
Is this somehow going to segue into your pick?
Oh, it doesn't segue at all, Jordan. Not at all.
Okay. So what are we getting into, sir? I'm very excited.
Well, you know, we covered all 1999 movies in 2024 for the 25th anniversary of 1999. That's my favorite year of my existence, my favorite year of human existence and of pop culture and of cinema. And we covered some heavy hitters that year, but there was one that was just so obvious we didn't cover it. But later on, one of our longtime listeners, one of our most faithful listeners, and one of my favorite listeners, Anthony, he said, what the hell are you doing? You're not going to cover The Matrix? And at first I was like, well, no, that's so obvious. But then I thought, well, damn it, he's right, though. That's like a cornerstone of 1999. If anything, it is the cornerstone. And I watched it twice last year in celebration of 1999 and of itself because I love The Matrix. And Anthony was right. We should have covered it and I should have picked it for Anthony. I promised. We'll get back to it. He said, can y'all do it next year? And we said, well, we're doing all 1991 movies, or 1990 movies. But that's over. So I'm giving it to you, Anthony. It's time for The Matrix. We're doing The Matrix.
Give it to him.
Jordan, I've been struggling with the punishment here. I've been going back and forth, trying to figure out what to go with.
Are we going to keep it all 90s again, I hope?
Well, I know for you, here's the deal. Jordan started collecting VHS tapes, about a year and a half ago? So the movie's got to have a VHS, right?
Right. Are you deciding in this moment?
Jordan, I'm taking this back to the Filmshake roots, because we did stuff like this back in the day, and we haven't done it in a long time. But there is a VHS for this. Jordan, I want to cover Reign of Fire with Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale as the punishment film.
I have that on VHS.
Yes!
Nice.
Yes! Jordan, we saw this in the theater together. I saw it twice in the theater. I haven't seen it since then, and I think about it all the time. Like, was that good? Was that horrible? I don't know. I want to know, Jordan.
I want to know. Was it good? Was it bad? I mean, I remember enjoying it as far as I recall.
I feel like we were pumping our fist and going, yeah, 23 years ago when we watched it. I think we saw it at Tinseltown.
I mean, I just remember McConaughey being like an absolute badass in this.
Yeah, and Christian Bale is kind of like sulking. Like, everyone thinks McConaughey's so cool. He's not, though. I'm cool.
Right.
You know, I love Christian Bale, but that's just kind of like the character as I remember it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad you already have this. That's great. So you don't even have to hunt it.
Yeah, and I do already have The Matrix, so I'm good there.
Oh.
How does Reign of Fire connect in any way to The Matrix, or?
Yes. So here's how I landed on Reign of Fire, actually. I was thinking about Matrix ripoffs or movies that came after The Matrix that tried to like tie into that. And the first thing I thought was Equilibrium with Christian Bale, which have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
I have. And you know what? I didn't really think it was very good and I didn't want to really watch it again. But whenever I looked up Equilibrium, Reign of Fire popped right up. Like, nah, Ron, Reign of Fire, not Equilibrium. Like, even Google wanted that over Equilibrium. And I was like, well, that's Christian Bale and I would love to rewatch that. And they have a VHS for it. I checked. So that's how I got there, Jordan.
And what year is Reign of Fire? Is that like 20?
It's 2002, which we,
2002.
before we did these last 2 years, sometimes our punishment movies were not a 90s movie. A lot of times they weren't 90s movies. They were just punishments. Because that was the point, was they were a punishment. They were supposed to hurt us. We were cruel back in the day. We tried to hurt each other. I had to watch a movie where Kevin Spacey turned into a cat. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That movie was terrible, Jordan.
9 Lives.
Yeah, it was so bad.
A beautiful work of art.
At least this one has dragons and Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey.
I don't feel like this is going to be a punishment. I feel like this will be at least mediocre, mildly enjoyable, but it could be like lots of fun. So I'm excited to watch it again.
Yeah, this could be our most badass episode ever. The Matrix and Reign of Fire.
Nice. Sweet. I'm looking forward to it. This new year is going to be starting off on a good foot. So.
That's right. 2 good feet, not 2 evil feet.
Not 2 evil eyes, not 2 evil feet, not 2 evil wangs. We just gonna bring it down in the dirt some more.
Well, that's the thing. Some of those demons in hell that play hell football have 2 wangs, Jordan, so they have 2 cups. So there's 2 cups full of demon pubes. Because they have 4 balls.
Right, I would assume they have more pubes than the
otherwise known as the quattro ball, Jordan.
Demon. Oh, Lord. So, wait, I got 3 out of 5. Does that mean I'm sniffing demon pubes?
You know, I'll try to throw you down a line, Jordan. I'll try to throw you down like a bed sheet.
What?
When the demons are pushing the pile of pubes toward you, I'll throw the bed sheet down and hopefully you can catch it and crawl up. Hopefully. Hopefully,
okay.
Jordan. Work on your rope skills.
Okay, when you said bed sheet, I was not imagining a rope. I was thinking, like, you're going to lay down a bed sheet? What? Like, is this getting horrifically romantic now?
No, but you know what? I'm gonna make it into a rope. I'm gonna throw it down. You should practice your rope climbing skills, Jordan, or you're gonna have to practice your demon rope smoking skills, Jordan.
So stupid. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to Filmshake once again. Always ridiculous.
You know, if I have another stroke, maybe my brain will reset and it'll go back to classy mode. That's the part that whatever the hell it's been for the last 10 months.
Yeah, no, I like this version of Nick. It's all good. You keep being you. You just released your true self. That's all right.
It sent me back to 1999. That's what I feel like happened.
You've regressed back to your teenage self.
Yeah, like my brain's a 17 and 18-year-old. It's insane.
That's all right. I mean, that's who we all are truly on the inside. We're just learn to mask it. But if you want to join in the insanity and, become your teenage self, like we are empowering you to do so, subscribe $19.99. Send us a wire through TransUnion or whatever you choose. But you can also email us at filmshakepodcast@gmail.com if you want to reach out there. You can find us at 90s Movies Pod on X or Facebook if you want to connect there as well. Shoot us a line. Let us know what 90s films you're looking forward to us covering that we haven't yet talked about.
I appreciate this longer intro. Last episode, Jordan was like, okay, thanks, bye.
All right, and we'll catch you next time for more Filmshake. See you later.
Take it easy. I meant outro.
Turn into a dumbass and listen to Filmshake. It's Filmshake.
Dude, I'm ready for the chaos. I'm in a really weird state of mind right now. So, this is going to be a lunacy.